Today on Afghan Cooks, Shola Goshti, wonderful Afghan sticky rice with mung beans and meat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi, I'm Miriam. I'm the Afghan who cooks, and today this Afghan who cooks is going to be making Shola Goshti using my own recipe from my own cookbook. I'm doing this in a pressure cooker. Do not be afraid of a pressure cooker. It is a lifesaver, especially on a weekend. Half a cup of vegetable oil. We're going to eyeball it, okay? You're going to have the recipe. It's going to be in the description below. We are going to add 2 cups, which is 2 large onions, okay? You can see that they're nice and brown. This took about 10 minutes. I'm going to take half of these onions that I browned and I'm going to put them back into my bowl, and we're going to save it for later. And this is just a little cheat, a little hack, so that you're not frying onions twice. One of the things that was really interesting to me, even when I was going over my recipe, was just how little spices are used in this recipe. It is primarily the flavor of chaat masala, which does have all of our 4 major spices in it, but also dill, the sweetness of the onions and the garlic. So here I have 2 tablespoons of garlic. I'm going to add half of this into this, and again, we're going to save the rest. That's cooked for about 30 seconds or so. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and let that cook until it turns deep red. Now, while you guys are here, if you're enjoying these videos, it would be wonderful if you could subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know every time we have a new video. We are going to aim for at least 1 a week, maybe 2 if you get lucky. Hit the thumbs up, nacher tak, and leave us a comment. I mean, is this something that you would make during the week? Shola Goshti. You can see the oil is starting to separate. The tomato paste is turning a nice deep red. Then to this, we are now going to add the meat. This is 1.5 pounds of lamb. I had the butcher cut it. It's boneless lamb. You can, of course, use beef if you want. You can always use bone in. That's okay. I prefer boneless just because it cooks a little faster and you don't have to worry about bones in your food. We're going to stir all of this up, and then we're going to add salt. 1.5 teaspoons of salt here. We're going to continue to add namak as we go through our recipe. And we are going to open up our box here. Magaram. You can see my cumin is empty. We're not using any of this. It was always very surprising to me. We're going to add the black pepper. Just a heaping 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. How little spices traditional Afghan cuisine uses. The incorporation of a lot of these spices, other than when we use it for chaat masala, is a more modern take. And by modern, I mean, 100, 150 years. But we don't use a lot of these other warming spices now because we want that flavor of dill to come through, right? You see, the meat is not so raw looking on the outside. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking for dark brown or anything like that. Here I have 2 cups of tomatoes. We're going to add all of this. And this is going to be part of the stuff that flavors the whole thing, right? The rice and the mung beans. We're going to let that cook until the tomatoes just start to release their water. You can see now how much liquid there is in here. Those tomatoes have released their water. We're going to add the water. 5 cups of water. Now we're going to put the top on it. I don't know, what is this supposed to be, closed or open? Okay, now we are going to let it sit for just a minute on this high heat so it can come up to pressure. Then we'll turn it down to medium and let it cook for about 20 minutes. I said don't be afraid. And I have 1 cup of mung beans here, already rinsed, soaked, and then drained of the water. And I have 2 cups of short grain rice. Okay, this is Calrose rice. It's the best rice, I'm telling you. For short grain rice, it is top notch. We're gonna let that come back up to a boil. Here I have 2 teaspoons of chaat masala. We'll have a recipe for that in my book as well, but you can buy it from Ahubara sells it. And then the main ingredient for the flavoring here is dill. Now you can use dry dill. Here I have 1 tablespoon of dry dill, or you can use fresh dill. Use twice as much fresh to dry. We're going to continue to let that come up to a boil. We're going to let this boil for just a minute or 2. We're going to add a couple of chilies. This recipe can be spicy, not spicy. Of course, we have Afghans that were born and raised in Pakistan who got used to that spiciness, right? They got used to that heat. Shola Goshti is, for us here now, a spicy dish. Just fresh whole chilies, and I'm just going to toss them. Now that it's been boiling for about 2 minutes, I'm going to put the top on it, and I'm going to let it come up to pressure. We will be right back. So I was going to just make a yogurt sour cream sauce, just quick and easy, and not make krut, but I can't do it, guys. I can't. You cannot have shola goshti without krut. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe other people can. I'm not other people. I have krut. I'm going to just soak it for just a little bit while my rice cooks, and I'm going to fry up my onions. So this will just sit, and then we're just going to put it in the Vitamix. We're going to make our piaz that we're going to put in the center of our shola goshti. This nice bubbling hot onion and garlic mixture that's going to really kind of permeate the entire thing. And once it's hot, add your oil. And remember how we had saved the onions and the oil? We're going to add that back into this pan. And once we do this, we're going to set it aside, because once everything comes together, then we're going to heat it up again, and then we're going to... Okay, you can see this has come back up to heat, and we're only doing this, we're going to take this off the heat to add our garlic to this. And we don't want it to burn, we just want it to cook nicely in there. And we're going to set this aside again, okay? We're going to leave it on the heat so that the last bit of water comes out. This was on the heat for about 15 minutes. You can see it's smooth, it's sticky, the meat is so tender. Wah, 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 wah. It needs another teaspoon or 2 of salt. I'm going to add a few more peppers to this. These peppers are not hot. You never know how hot you're going to get peppers. I'm going to add a couple of these now. Cut some of these in half. I already made this yogurt and sour cream mixture with some lemon, and I thought it was going to be good enough, but I'm going to add the krut to it to actually make it taste the way I want it to taste. Final piece, which is our hot oil. And there you have it, a quick weeknight shola goshti. Nooshi Jan. Until next time.